Hi guys. All right, so this is going to be the first tutorial in our group for for doing an art page in like your art Bible. So I wanted to keep it simple, and it was on John 1, and it was how God really he sacrificed no matter what, even though we didn't accept him and we had him crucified. He loved us enough, and he gives us that assurance of forgiveness. So I wanted to keep it very simple so that anyone could try it. So I simply covered my page with a clear gesso first so that it wouldn't bleed through onto the page behind it. But if you don't have gesso, you don't have to worry about that. You can use a marker or whatever. I used watercolor pencils for this, and then I just went over them with the water and kind of painted them on. But you can use like Crayola markers or anything like that. And then I used my regular pens that I use in all of my other stuff, my 05, and created a little border around the scripture that I wanted to highlight on the page. And then I colored in the scallops with the red and used my watercolor brush and just brushed in that red and filled it all in so that it was nice and bright. And once again, you can just do this with markers. You don't have to have watercolor pencils, that's fine. And then I decided to pencil in some hearts, and they're not perfect hearts. They're actually kind of tall and lanky hearts, so you don't have to be a great artist to do these. You just draw some hearts. And once I did that, I outlined them with my black marker, and I gave them kind of like a double outline so that they would have kind of some extra lines in them, which was kind of cool. And so then I went through each heart and I colored it in with my watercolor pencils in different colors after I erased my pencil lines, of course. And then I went over them with my watercolor brush. So if you're using markers, you just simply color them in with markers. You can use Crayolas, you can use colored pencils, you can use just your regular Crayola markers. You know, anything is fine. You don't have to have a lot of art supplies to do this. I just like using watercolor pencils because I'm familiar with that as from an art standpoint. And I have them, so I like to use them. But you do not have to. So just keep that in mind. I don't want everybody to go out and have to buy a bunch of supplies. This is super simple. Get some cheap markers from, Walmart or Amazon or wherever, and just color those hearts in nice bright colors. I finished up with the pink, and I just love how these colors and everything turned out around the scripture. It was so pretty. And then I just wrote out assurance of forgiveness. I kind of screwed up with the pencil there, and so I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do the whole thing in block. I'm just going to do the A. So I did that, wrote out forgiveness, and then erased my pencil lines on the A and colored it in with orange, and then watercolored over that. And then I decided, life is so messy, and it doesn't matter how messy our lives are, God will meet us where we're at. So I decided to cover up the assurance of forgiveness with just some messy watercolors. And so I just got really wet watercolors on there, and I took a straw and I blew it around. It turned out kind of muddy across the top, but that's okay because it just reminds me that, life is muddy sometimes and yucky. But it doesn't matter because God will cleanse us and forgive us even with our messy lives. So then I decided to splatter paint it because you guys know I love splatter painting. So I used my Distress inks, added some water to them, took my small brush and just painted or just splattered on the different colors that I used in the hearts, but I used the Distress ink instead. You can do this with Crayola markers. What that is over there on my desk is actually clear shelf paper, and I put it over the top of it so it's non-porous and it sticks down. And then so you can just color in some markers on clear shelf paper, add some water to it and a brush, and splatter it the same way. You don't have to have watercolor pencils or Distress ink for that. So here's some close-ups. I hope this inspired you guys. I hope you'll get out your art Bible and try this layout. Share it in our group. You guys have a great day.